Hi, my name is Lena and welcome to my channel, and let's talk about my plans for 2018. I think I'm done with New Year resolutions. It doesn't work for me, it doesn't work. I have failed, I think, this time. Well, I did better than previous year. This year, I have remembered my goals from time to time. I did try, I returned to English courses. I want to get Cambridge Advanced English certificate or Cambridge Advanced in English. And I took French pronunciation course and I took French grammar course. They were very short courses. Unfortunately, I haven't done much by myself, so I'm as good as lost all this knowledge. Well, right now I want to talk about directions or about my plans for the first half of the year 2018. I don't want to plan for the entire year because my interest might change. First of all, I'd like to read more historical fiction, historical non-fiction. And I will start with Alexander the Great and his conquest because I kind of have read a lot about him. It's pity that I cannot remember much, but he was my childhood hero, something like that. So I have read books about him. But this time I want to read it paying attention to the facts, following him on the maps, sorting it all out and to summarizing it all for myself. So I'd like to read about Alexander the Great. And I have books enough for 6 months, I suppose. And I'd like to read more sci-fi and fantasy, vintage sci-fi and fantasy. So I will be reading more of those. And I think that's it. Those two directions I want this channel to take. Also, I'd like to start reading journal. Sorry, guys. I watched a bit of videos and I'd like to do it in such a way. First of all, I'd like to write in one journal just all the titles of the books so that I could see right away which books I have read in 2018. And I think this book will be enough for several years for me. And in this book, which is strangely very much like a Bible, looks like a Bible, in this book I will be writing about books themselves. The only problem, guys, and I haven't figured it out yet, is that I read 4 books at once. It works better for me because I don't know, it kind of I kind of have a deadline in all 4 books for 1 week, for the week 2, 3, and 4 of the months, and it helps me to be more committed to actually read instead of daydreaming. So it works better for me. And I haven't figured out how I will do it. will I be just, I don't know, writing week 1 and then list my 4 books and my thoughts of them, week 2 and list the same 4 books? I haven't figured out it yet. But I think these notes will help me with read-alongs and with wrap-ups. So I'd like to start reading journal. Also, I'd like to read this year. I'd like to read one book in French. It's probably going to be Françoise Mallet-Jory, La Maison de Papier. It's a very short book, and it's about the author and her family, so I expect it to be relatively simple and easy. Relatively simple and easy. But I'd like, for the first half of the year 2018, I'd like to focus on my English, on my speaking, basically, because I have very big disbalance between my speaking and my reading and my listening. I have been watching films, reading books, listening to audiobooks for about 11 years, and I have been talking in English for about a year and a half. So it actually, you can see that, you can feel it. My teacher from the courses I attend, he kind of wants to get rid of me because he understands that my level is much higher than the level he teaches. But when it comes to speaking, I actually on the level I need right now. But he tries to force me to a high level. Well, nevertheless, I'd like to focus on my English and hopefully to get this Cambridge English Advanced certificate. Concerning my TBR, I will be reading Silmarillion by Tolkien with low Akashist books. He is going to participate in a read-along. I'm not sure for myself, but I have tried and I have failed to read the Silmarillion twice. And I hope that he, this body read with him, or maybe read along, I'm not sure what is he going to do with it, will help me to read this book. When I was reading the biography of Tolkien, the authorized biography by Humphrey, I understood that this book was the work of the entire life for Tolkien, the main work he considered it to be. But I could see perfectly well why all the publishing agencies didn't want to publish this book. So I'm hoping that I will read the Silmarillion in January. Then, because this is such a huge book and I will have 10 days of holidays, I'm hoping to read these 4 books in one, Brothers of Gwynedd by Edith Parker. Sorry guys, she's Alice Peters for me and I don't feel the need to find out how to pronounce her actual surname. Sorry. So I'm hoping to read this one because I cannot take it anywhere with me. It's too huge. By the way, it's about Wales in Middle Ages, and I suppose brothers. Sorry, I will read this and I will report back what it's all was about. Then I'm going to read two ebooks. One will be Binary with Mark Richardson from Richardson Reads, and it's going to be The White Dragon, the third book in the Dragonriders of Pern trilogy by Anne McCaffrey. Unfortunately, it's the cover in Kindle edition is horrible, so I'm not going to show it to you, unfortunately. And I will be reading Arrian. Sorry, guys. I will be reading Arrian concerning Alexander the Great. Arrian is considered to be the historian of Alexander the Great. Although he lived 400 years after the time, but he used in his work other historians. I'm sorry, guys, I do not remember the names, but their works was lost for us. So he is the closest historian to the time of Alexander the Great. So I will be reading this work as well. And I have a Russian version, probably shorter version. It's called something like The Conquest of Alexander the Great. I'm not sure. I have read a bit of Arrian, and I can see that it's going to be problematic because of all the English names for all the nations and all the places that I barely know Russian names to. So I will be reading both works in Russian and in English. I think it's going to be better that way because so far reading historical works, historical non-fiction works on my Kindle app wasn't successful for me at all. Well, I'm going to try this one. And because of the Christmas holidays, this Christmas week, and because of New Year week, and because of Christmas that we will have in Russia on the 7th of January, because of all these holidays and family time, I wasn't been able to find out whether Marsha wants to do some other batteries, so my TBR can change, but we will talk about it in wrap up. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and happy reading and happy New Year Eve.